Good evening, friends, and welcome back to Emily's Game. I want to show you a really quick tip that for a lot of people I see having this issue. I did a video on this a couple months ago. It was a pretty big hit with a lot of people, but being that it's an older video now, a lot of people have probably missed that. I do see a lot of people struggling when they are farming equipment. So I'm going to show you a really useful tip on how to make your equipment farming faster. When you're running through a bunker and you got a gun on the floor or in a rack somewhere, most of the time when you go to pick this up, you equip it. So we're going to go ahead and equip this. All right, now I've got it equipped. Well, there's this other one. I just want this weapon. I don't want it to be my primary. I'm going to take it. Oh no, I dropped the gun and now I'm holding the gun I don't want. It sucks. I wanted that to go in my backpack. Well, I'm going to show you how to fix that. This is super simple, super easy. We all have what's called the interaction menu. Every device you go up to, anything that says F on it activates your interaction menu. You can activate this by holding F and right clicking, and you get this menu. Now, I have an issue with this. You just saw it. It goes away on me sometimes if you move the mouse. I don't know why it does that, but it does, and it's annoying. Like that, it just goes out. I found a way around that. If you crouch and you get the F prompt closer to the top of your screen and you hold F, it seems to stay around longer. I don't know why. It just does. So that's not the tip. That's just to help you get to this tip. Your default action when you go to pick something up, no matter whether it's in a rack, on the floor, or whatever, is equip. So if you're holding a weapon, it's going to replace that weapon. That sucks. You can change that. As you see, you've got holster, which is also a swap, or you got store, which can also be a swap. I like to use store. Now, if I do this, it's just going to store the weapon, right? Well, you can make that your default setting by holding F, right-clicking, going down to store. Okay, I did it again. Once you right-click, you can also use your arrow keys. This is a bitch. So use your arrow keys to get there. When you do, you can hit your middle mouse button. And now you've got to set as secondary, set as primary. I always set this as primary. So now, when I go up to a weapon, it says store instead of equip, right? Same thing with the stuff on the ground. Super simple to set. It's kind of a pain in the ass because the interaction menu likes to jump around a lot, but use your keyboard arrow keys if you have trouble with the mouse. Also, make sure you have the F interaction towards the upper part of your screen, not at the top, but towards the upper. Like I said, some reason that makes a little bit of a difference, and I don't know why. It just does, at least for me. Anyways, now what does that do for me? I'm holding two weapons. I just want to store these. I'm running through a bunker, and I'm getting shot at. Well, I've got a second here to pick up weapons, in between shots. So now all I gotta do is F it. It's in my backpack. As you can see, I got that in my backpack now. Same with these. Oh, there's a tractor, and that's a $20,000 device. Oh, it's in my backpack now. Like this. Let's take this with me too. You know what? This has a scope on it. I'm going to take that later, but I got to get out of here now. I just picked up all those weapons, put them in my backpack, and I still have my two equipped weapons. Super helpful if you are loot farming. This works for so many things. If you got clips on the ground, if you got components or whatever that you can put in your backpack, everything you can now simply put straight into your backpack through the interaction menu. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go do a bunker run. I'm going to run through, and I'm going to pick up the weapons that the guys drop as I'm shooting them. So we're going to check that out and see just how useful that is for those of you who would like to see it. Those of you that are going to drop off here, if you have any questions, don't forget to ask them in the comments. Come into my Discord. I'm happy to help you set this if you are still struggling to set this. It is a pain. It's not very straightforward. Like, most people don't even know that setting exists. All sorts of hidden features in this game, but that's one that I found very useful, and I think that you will too. So guys, I'll see you at a bunker. Guys, I thought I'd show you something else too here, just in regards to this. The keybind for that is middle mouse button. Now, before I got my new mouse, which is a Basilisk version 3, which has the... I don't know if you could hear that. It has the scroll wheel release. So what it does is it just keeps scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Great for cargo stuff if you've never tried it. Anyway, now that I got the new mouse, the keybind issue I had is no longer an issue. But if you go to keybinds, advanced control, under your keyboard, under quick keys, interaction, and inner thought, you're going to find focus. Focus is the button that lets you see the secondary and primary, the little two sub-menus when you're looking at equip and store or whatever those options are. Focus is default set to the middle mouse button. I could not get mine to work because apparently my middle mouse button was broken. I couldn't do takedowns, I couldn't do all sorts of stuff, and well, I slowly figured out, well, I'm missing a feature. So I had to rebind a few things until I got a new mouse. So now that I got the new mouse, I did put it back. But what I did was I changed this to my right control, and that let me get that sub menu. So if you have trouble getting the sub menu, it might be your middle mouse button causing the issue. If you're having trouble getting it to work because you're also moving the mouse slightly while you're hitting the button, try changing this focus option to control. It won't mess up other things like opening doors. It has nothing to do with that. That might help you with that if you have a mouse issue. And again, reach out to me in comments if you have any extra trouble. I'd be happy to help you figure that out. Alright, you guys, we're here. We're going to do a little combat, have a little fun. Get some weapons, possibly. Hopefully pick them up very fast and not have, hopefully, too much issue in doing it. Should be a lot of fun. Here are weapons. We gotta go help our friends there, the security guards. They're gonna be dead. Come on, baby, open up. And close. For those of you that aren't familiar with my work, I do carry... Oh shit, look at all of the guards. Holy shit, dude. Wait. They just shot one of their own. Alright, so if they're all out here... Dude, did they just clear the site for me? What the hell? Well, we're gonna go loot it anyway. I'm kind of bummed about that. That's too funny, actually. I'll go do another one, but I'm gonna keep this in the video because that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyways, as I was trying to say, for those of you that aren't familiar with my videos, I do like to use my P8AR. I can use it for both sniping and close quarters. It is phenomenal. It's pretty good. Damn, people. Wow. Alright, I'm just going to go check this for boxes, and then I'll go find the site, and we'll try that one. God, look at all the security guards. So we have this issue with Stormbreaker. It is absolutely insane. All the NPCs that are spawning. Look at this. Jesus. You can't even get around. Yeah, all the NPCs that are spawning are making it extremely difficult. We actually abandoned the mission the other day because of just constant chaos. You can't move forward. You do nothing but take out the NPCs. Anyways, I'm going to go through here. I'll check this out, and then I will see you in the next bunker because I want to fight. Alright, all the hostiles remaining here. There's a lot of battle going on. A lot of firepower out here. Oh, man. Wow. I bet the battle's over. %. Maybe it'll do some down here for us. Oh, 26%. No. We're not gonna be able to fight anybody here, I bet. This kind of blows. There's 2 guys left. 13%. 6%. Shit. Alright, well, forget it. I guess I need to go find a hostile bunker. That sucks. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to run around and pretend that these are bad guys. I'm just going to evade them. Gotta kill. Pick up the weapon. Put my backpack. Keep moving. Oop. No. Weapon. Pick it up. Keep moving. Oh my god, you guys. Get out of my way. Hey, look, a loot box. There's a weapon. Pick it up. Keep moving. There's a weapon. Pick it up. Keep moving. We're not under fire. I wish we were. But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's how useful that is. Same thing if they were in gun racks. You could just walk up to it, pick it up, put it in your backpack, get the heck out of here, and check it later. No worries about bending over, trying to hunch over, and getting into your inventory, dragging something in because it is just not going. This will make it a lot quicker, and you can hopefully loot more effectively, and maybe survive a little longer too if you end up getting killed a lot or killed, pretty quick. Wow. So yeah, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on this feature. How many of you actually knew about this and have been using it? I've found that it's been very few and far between have actually known about this. Look at that guy's outfit. Looks like a Lando Calrissian or Han Solo. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, let me know because I heard it through somebody and, figured out how to use it. And I'll tell you what, best quality of life update I've ever found when it comes to doing a bunker run. You just go do your run, you get out of there, and you deal with whatever loot you picked up after you're done, after you're somewhere safe. So that's it. That's all I got, guys. I hope this is helpful. Please definitely let me know in the comments if it is. And if you have any other tips or features that are out there that may not be widely known, definitely let me know. I'd love to share those with people. Guys, I love you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next episode. Take care. Have a wonderful night. Bye. Hello, and welcome back to Emily's Game. I've got something really cool I want to talk about. The new United newspaper article that is in the 4.3.1 PTU screen. I don't talk about these too much. I do check them out when they do come out, but I've been kind of exploring the lore of Star Citizen more and more, and I'm finding some really cool stuff in these articles. So I'm going to go over each one. I want to do some speculation. I want to get your thoughts on these. I want to give you some of my thoughts as well. So let's dig into this. CIG loves to slip secrets into the verse. They're not just in patch notes, but in the world and the lore. And they're hidden a lot of the time, much like a lot of the features that we come across that, aren't very apparent to us. One of the best examples is these new United broadcasts. They look like background fluff, but they're actually loaded with lore hints and potential gameplay teasers. So today I'm going to break down the latest edition, covering terraforming mistakes, protests brewing on Terra, the desperate need for first responders, the mysterious burning sky, and a list of the most pirated ships. Each of these could shape the future of Star Citizen. I'm not sure if that's actual, but it could be cool. Let's talk about it. First up, friends, is terraforming. This article talks about the rise of re-terraforming companies, fixing worlds that didn't quite turn out right. One real example in game that we already have is Microtech, which is Stanton 4. Terraforming began in the late 2800s after the system was sold to the UEE in 2865, but that process went sideways. It left the planet far colder and stormier than intended. The failure was such a big deal that it was even debated through the UEE Senate. Microtech has tried to patch these mistakes ever since. They even genetically engineered an apex predator called the boreal stalker to fill the top of the food chain and help balance the ecosystem. I did not know this. I just learned this today, actually, as I was doing my research. But even with these interventions, Microtech still stands as one of the UEE's best-known terraforming failures. I'm sure there's others. I haven't found any yet. But if you know of them, let me know. Maybe this new United article is hinting at tech changes baked into lore. We've already seen CIG rework clouds, lighting, and biomes patch by patch. What if re-terraforming is a way of explaining planetary upgrades inside the story? Imagine logging in after a patch and finding Microtech storms weaker or stronger. Entire new valleys cut open with rivers running through them. Settlements thawed out, unlocking archaeology-style gameplay where you uncover what was buried beneath the ice from other civilizations that might have been here before us. Maybe even New Babbage itself becomes a desolate ruined city, no longer the hub we know today. These could be reality if they try to re-terraform a planet that failed its terraformization. I think that's a word. It is now. Alright friends, the next article is about Terra General Regen protests resuming. And that's a big deal in Star Citizen's lore. For years, Terra has been seen as the rising star of humanity, newer, wealthier, more advanced than Earth. A lot of people think that Terra should actually replace Earth as the capital of the UEE. And of course, that's not something Earth loyalists are happy about. But why does this matter to us? Because it could set up factional gameplay, political missions, story-driven conflicts. If and when Terra eventually comes online, I don't think it'll just be another pretty planet or system. It will bring with it a storyline of division and unrest, possibly, and maybe missions where players have to choose a side. The new United piece feels like a seed planted now for drama that will bloom later, so that'll be interesting to see. Alright friends, this is an exciting article for a lot of us because it's sort of the introduction to the 2 Apollo variants that we're going to be getting here really, really soon. Maybe within the next, I don't know, week and a half? I would imagine at the end of Pirate Week, but I'm not sure. So, this article, Empire desperate for first responders. Apparently ambulance pilots and medics are in short supply across the UEE. This feels like a direct nod to gameplay. We all know there's more gameplay coming to the medical side, but how much? We know we're getting the 2 Apollos, and healing mechanics are already in place, along with the new med gel. But there's room for so much more. What if this article is foreshadowing a whole new wave of medical contracts, emergency beacon pickups that pay more the faster you arrive? Reputation systems where being a reliable medic unlocks bigger payouts or even exclusive gear, kind of like we have with the ASD Onyx facilities right now, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Maybe even large-scale disaster events, and get this sounds exciting to me, where players coordinate as fleets of rescue ships evacuating civilians or stabilizing a battlefield. Here's a thought, and this is a fun thought for me. What if first responders aren't just for combat zones? Picture med ships racing into planetary disasters, failed terraforming sites, or even protests that turn violent. That could even be how CIG starts to introduce early passenger-style contracts, transporting wounded civilians, evacuees, or even protesters caught in the chaos. Suddenly, the medical career path isn't just dragging your friends to a tier 1, 2, or 3 bed. It's a fully fledged profession woven into the fabric of the verse. I don't think this is a question of if anymore. CIG is already leaning into medical gameplay. The real question is how deep they'll let us go. Will medical stay a support role or evolve into one of the core career paths that can define your place in the verse? Just imagine, friends, evacuating an entire planet by way of your med ships and your capital ships, coming together in a global event with everybody out there for a good cause. Hopefully not a PvP event, but more of a PvE event where we work together to save the entire civilization on a planet. It'd be freaking cool if you ask me. Alright friends, let's talk about this one. This got me stumped pretty good while I was trying to do some research for it. Burning Sky. That photos leak. What is this? I'll be honest, I had no clue why this was included. I still don't. My research turned up very, very little on this, but some of you might remember back in 2019, an image started circulating called the Burning Sky, supposedly a fiery new planet in the Pyro system. I wasn't around then, so I had no idea. This is all new news for me. But it turns out the picture was completely faked. It was just Mustafar from Star Wars Episode 3. I know you guys are probably going to correct me on the pronunciation of that. Mustafar? I don't know. It was photoshopped into a Star Citizen style screenshot with a Banner Defender. So I've got that picture up here now so you can check it out. It was apparently called The Burning Sky, and it was released to content creators apparently, and it became a huge thing, which was quickly kind of snuffed out by CIG as a fake. So what does this headline mean now? I don't know. It could just be a fun nod, or maybe it's hinting at something more. Here's a couple of thoughts I had. Think of burning sky meaning a massive battle or orbital bombardment with wreckage raining down into a planet's atmosphere. Got the Apollo coming in, so great event for something like that, right? Some form of jump point malfunction, something catastrophic enough to scorch a planet's sky, possibly a pyro, I don't know. Alien involvement, think of the Vanduuls using scorched earth tactics. I mean, we know they're coming in Squadron 42, but do we know they're only coming at that point, or could they come sooner? We've got Wicklow, who knows? Or maybe, with the other article we read about, another terraforming disaster, a planet's atmosphere collapsing in fire and chaos. That would possibly create a burning sky. These are just some of my thoughts, but I'd love to hear what you all think. What does the burning sky mean to you? Are you familiar with the whatever happened back in 2019 about this? Drop your theories in the comments below, because this one's wide open. Another headline tucked into this broadcast was a list of the most pirated ships. I had a lot of fun thinking about this one, and I hope you will too, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. CIG hasn't given us any official list yet of what these ships are, but it's fun to imagine. I'd bet the ships like the Hull series, the Raft, the Caterpillar, the Hercules, maybe the MSR would be prime targets. Anything that carries cargo, data, or high-valued goods. Or things like the Phoenix, you know, the high-class passenger ship, the 890 Jump. Here's where it gets interesting, at least in my mind. What if CIG actually leans into this and makes this piracy more dynamic? Imagine NPC pirates going after those exact ships more aggressively. Not just random interdictions, but targeted ambushes because your ship is on that most pirated list. That would make owning certain ships feel more risky and more exciting, pushing players to hire escorts or fly smarter routes, or maybe not fly those ships at all. Or picture this. Players could get missions to protect high-risk ships when they're flagged in a system, or even contracts to steal one for a syndicate. It could evolve into a living economy where piracy isn't just a random encounter, but shaped by in-game data by us. And who knows, maybe if some of that's true, which would be really cool, we'll eventually get that list, or maybe we'll stumble across it, or who knows how it'll be relayed to us. And then slowly we start to see the mechanic build around it. If nothing else, it's a great excuse for us to speculate, which I love to do with this game, and I hope you do too. But it's enough for us to speculate on and to argue about which ships should be at the top of the chart. So I'd like to know what ships you think would be the most coveted by the pirates. All right, friends, there you have it. 5 little articles in a newspaper that not many of you have seen yet, unless you've gone into the PTU, each pointing to potentially bigger things. Terraforming mistakes with Microtech as our cautionary tale, complete with apex predators like a boreal stalker. How many of you knew about that? Protests on Terra planting the seeds for political unrest. A desperate need for medics that could expand into full career paths. The mysterious burning sky with roots in a 2019 fake photo, and maybe more to come. And a potential list of most pirated ships that could shape piracy gameplay. Which of these do you think will hit the game first, if at all? Are we about to see Microtech evolve, Terra politics boil over, or medical gameplay expand into full-fledged contracts, which I'm really hoping for too? Piracy possibly becoming more dynamic, and the burning sky reveals true meaning. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I will be reading through those, and I will try my best to respond to every one of them. So I'm excited to see what you all have to say about that. Also, I want to remind you all about the raft giveaway still going on. We are trucking forward to the 500 comment mark. Once we hit 500 comments on that video, one comment will be drawn for the giveaway of that raft. So one of you will get a brand new LTI raft. Please note, it's not in a game starter package. This is my personal ship. I'm just giving it away to one of you because I love you guys. Additionally, I released a new video series, the first one this past week here, called the CYA series, the Choose Your Adventure series. Check that out if you haven't had a chance to. The goal of it is for me to do what you tell me to do in a playthrough. You set the rules, you set the armor, you set the weapons, you set the ship, you set the location, you set the contract, whatever. Make it crazy, make it chaotic. I had a lot of fun making that video. Check it out if you're curious about that. But please don't forget to leave me a comment on what you want me to do next. You can do it together, or you can do it separately, individually, you know, one comment at a time, specifying one thing, and the next comment specifying another. Or you guys can get together and talk about it in the comments and give me a whole crazy ass thing to do, and I want to do it. So check that out. All right, friends, if you like this and you want more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave those comments. I want to read them. Guys, I love you, and I'll catch you in my next episode. Take care and have a wonderful night. Good evening, friends, and welcome back to Emily's Game. I have had a lot of comments on my video from, I believe it was 2 patches ago, about ship auto-loading and unloading, wanting to know if it still works in 4.1. I believe it does, but we're going to go test it. So if you're not familiar with how this works, let me share a couple of tips with you along the way on how to do this and how to do it successfully, because there's a few ways that you can actually cause it to screw up. The game can also cause it to screw up, but there's some things you can do to prevent yourself from causing it. I've got 2 star lifters here, an M2 and a C2. I'll touch base more on why when we get back to the hangar. We're going to load up my C2, and we're just going to go with scrap, because scrap is great. Alright, so if you look, I was able to select my C2 right off the bat. Now, in my last video, that didn't work. When you picked a ship, it wouldn't pick it. So it seems to be working here, but the weird thing is my M2 is not choosable, which I don't understand. The C2 is, and it's correct because it's 696 SCU. So always make sure your cargo capacity matches the ship you're trying to use. To me, but pay attention to what ship you've got, okay? Your SCU capacity will help you with that. All right, we're going to go ahead and load it up with these SCU crates. It's going to cost us 912,000. Since we've selected the ship, this should auto-load it. Your estimated loading time is 6 minutes. We're going to let that run through. It's going to cost me 20.3K to auto-load it, because that could be a thing. All right, we're going to wait the 6 minutes out, and I will see you back at the hangar. All right, friends, as you can see, I got 30 seconds left before my ship is full. So while I am waiting for this to finish, let me go over why I said earlier that I've got 2 star lifters up here. This is kind of important right now because this is still kind of an issue. If you call a ship from ASOP terminals at the hangar stations here, there's a really good chance the ship won't be there when you get in the hangar. There's a really good chance it could be destroyed. There's a really good chance it could be upside down. I don't trust the ASOP terminals outside the hangars. So what I do, instead of calling the ship that I'm intending, I call another ship of like size. Well, since I've got my C2, I need a big ship. So the M2 is appropriate for this situation. Now that my C2 is full, I could retrieve it, but as I said, I'm not going to because I don't want to lose the cargo. I'm going to call this M2. Now, I'd be willing to bet that when I get into my hangar here, the M2 will not be there. And this is precisely why I didn't want to call the C2. Now, I'm probably a liar. It's probably going to prove me wrong. The game is listening, and it's out to get me for some reason lately. So, let's see what happens. It's showing. But you know what? Oh, this is weird. Couldn't activate the screen. I'm okay to be wrong. But experience dictates that this... All right, as I said, I was not wrong. My M2 is down there. This is exactly why I didn't want to call the C2. It's yeah, it's broken. So I'm gonna claim the M2. So this is a problem if you don't have multiple ships that you can do this with, which kind of sucks. I really hope this gets fixed soon. Yeah, you see M2 Starlifter, claim. I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Your insurance claim. Please visit us again.
This way it disappears. Oh hey, look. It's gone. We're gonna deliver this.
Your vehicle has been delivered.
It's an awful workaround. It really is. I'm very paranoid about the ASAP terminals. They in the outside your elevators. They just still don't work. Let's go. Jeez, these are slow. Like the Polaris. Check it out. There's cargo. Oh. So we got our cargo, which I'm very happy for. Was a little worried it wasn't going to be there, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to say this a few times throughout this video. Do this at your own risk. There is very good potential that you can lose your cargo doing this. Very good potential you lose the money you invest in doing this. Personally, I've not lost money in doing this, save one time out of many dozens. We are, and if I didn't say it before, we are at Port Tressler. We are going to go down to Pyro Gateway and sell this. There's enough of a profit there I can make it worth it, and we're going to go from there. So I will see you down at Pyro. So we have made it to Pyro Gateway. This is where we're going to sell our load of scrap. This is the next very important piece of information that you need to follow, because this has been an issue in the past. This has caused cargo to get stuck on your ship grids. And the way that I've found around it, because this never once happened to me, and I'm bad about watching my ships go down. I like to see them go down, I like to see them get stored. When you store your ship, watch it go down. Make sure it goes down, make sure it disappears off the pad. What a lot of people were doing was they were leaving their hangar with the ship still up. That's causing the station to auto-store the ship. That is breaking the ship's cargo grid. At least it was. I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to assume that that's still a problem. So always store your ship before you leave your hangar. Wait for it to finish. It just takes an extra couple of seconds. And then leave your hangar. This will save you some heartache. It'll save you some grief. It'll save you some credits. But this is how I have done every one of my auto load and unload ship commodity sales. And it's worked, I swear, every time. Except for once. Once it did not work, but it was a server error, and I pretty much just lost everything because of it. And you know what? It is what it is. It's the game we play. I have another issue too, where if I back up, can't see it now, I get the loot prompt, and for some reason, it's been kind of superseding what's in front of me, and I keep looting myself. So I'm not sure what's up with that. I do need to put a ticket in for that, but I've been seeing that since last night. Alright guys, here we are at Pyro Gateway admin panels. I have one ship here, the C2, and as I said at the other station, when you pick your ship, it doesn't always pick, and you can see that perfectly here. I picked the C2, it's not there. Now, here's what you need to pay attention to. There are two of me here. One of those is not what you think it is. It's going to be my ship. So I don't understand why, but that's how this works. All right. So here I can sell my max cargo, 1.65 million. That's what, 940, I think. So 125,000 is about what I'm making, give or take. We're going to do it. The auto unload time is 6 minutes. Confirm it. I'm at 253.3. This should go up to 254.4. Bada bing, bada boom, guys. That's it. It does work. For those of you that commented on my channel that says it does not work, pay attention to how I did that. Don't always call your ship that you're intending to use once you've loaded it with cargo. Call a different ship to get your access to your hangar. Number 2, when you get to your destination, store your ship fully. Make sure it goes underground, doors close, and that the ramp or the ship serial number or whatever, make sure that disappears off your screen before you leave your hangar. Those are the most important things you need to do to make this a success. I have done this countless times, and I have made tons and tons and tons of money doing this. It's not difficult. It can be a little more time consuming because now you're waiting for your ship to lower and come back up if you called another one, just for that safety fact of not trusting what the ASOP terminals out here are going to do. So guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to walk you through this if you still can't get it, if you're still having trouble with it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate when you guys do that. That shows me that these videos are of value to you. And if you have ideas for other issues or videos that you'd like to see happen, let me know. I've got a few in the works that I'm going to get out here hopefully soon. I got some other special things coming up. Otherwise, you guys, I love you. Have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you in my next episode. Take care and have a wonderful night. Bye. Hello friends, and welcome back to Emily's Game. I wanted to update a video I did just about a year ago, maybe over a year ago now, about how to sell items in bulk. We know we can do this with commodities such as RMC or CMAT or gold or whatever other commodities out there at various TDD centers and admin centers. But those of you that like to loot may find yourself with a ton of inventory that you need to do something with eventually. It just stacks up and you got to get rid of it. So what I've done is I've collected a bunch of loot and I've thrown it into some cargo crates. And I'm going to show you how you can offload that stuff and make a little bit of money off it at the same time. So to start, we're going to run into the weapon shop here. I am at Port Tresler, but you can go to any of the main spaceports to do this. So I'm going to show you what you can do to sell individual items first. So when you go to the weapons items kiosks and you've got a bunch of weapons in crates, if you go to the sell icon, you don't see your crates because this location doesn't buy crates. If you're at a location that bought crates, you could actually pick the crate and see the contents inside, but you can't here. So the only way you do this here is you choose your subsource, which are one of the crates that I have in my local station inventory. Once I've picked that, I can individually sell these items. Now, if you have a lot of stuff in these crates, that will take you forever to sell these. It sucks. One thing I want to show you before we move on to the next part of this video, which is the important part. I have a bunch of pistols in one of these crates, and as you can see, they do sell individually for 395 credits. Remember that. So now I'm going to go to the cargo center, and let me show you how you can sell these items directly from the crate in bulk. So one of the key points to remember here is I have brought these boxes to the station on a ship, and then I put the boxes on my freight elevator and lowered them into my inventory. You've got to get them into your inventory. You cannot detect them from the ship. I did test that just before this to see if that might be a change they've made, but it is not. All right, same thing with at the weapons kiosk. You need to go to sell. Now, if you notice, I see my 3 crates. I also see them here, so I can still sell individually. All right, friends, this is the crate I had with the pistols in it. As you can see, they don't sell here. I don't know why that is, but you cannot sell those pistols at the cargo centers. All right. Now, if we go back here to sell and go to all options where you see your crates, now you can pick your crate. If you hit quick sell, I believe that sells the crate and not the contents. And I think it dumps all the contents back in your inventory. So do not hit quick sell. You want to select this and then hit sell. And then there you're going to see all the items you can sell. Now, you cannot scroll through this. I don't know why. That could be a just me issue. If you're able to scroll through this window, please let me know. I don't know. I've not been able to do this patch for some reason. I think I could in prior patches, but anyways. So if you look, these are already selected. If I pick one, it's going to lower the price, which means it's unselecting them. So you do not have to select these. They are pre-selected. I'm going to hit sell. That means I made almost 32,000 credits off that crate. If that would have been all loot stuff, that'd been a nice little, hey, I need a little bit of extra money. Let me just sell all the shit that I picked up, and bada bing, bada boom. Now, I think this is the one with my pistols in it. No. So this one has armor items. So as you can see, I'm going to sell 8,844 worth of armor items. I believe that would cost me a ton more to buy than I am to sell. So you can't buy it to sell it. You're not going to make any money that way. But if you're picking up this stuff in the bunkers, in the depots, in the CZs, you're going to be able to build up an inventory and then sell it off like this and actually just make some extra credits. Just remember, don't go buy stuff to go somewhere else and sell it. You're not going to make a profit off of it. All right, friends, this is my box with the pistols. As you can see, they do not sell here. So that sort of sucks because I have a ton of pistols in this crate. But I also have a bunch of other stuff that is going to sell. So I'm going to go ahead and sell this. And then I'm going to check my inventory and see if 3 LH86s showed up and then a bunch of S38 pistols showed up. Because right now I'm at Port Tresler. There's nothing in my inventory except for, I think, 2 Atlases and some favors. So we're going to sell this for 25,000 K. Bada bing, bada boom. As you can see, I have nothing left to sell. I don't even have sub-inventories to pick from. Now, another thing you can do, if you need to, is you can pick from your source your backpack. And anything you've got in your backpack, you can also sell that. Now, I don't know why I have a lifeguard attachment. I'm going to sell it. I don't ever use that, so get rid of that. Straight from my backpack. Same applies to the rest of your item. If you've got, I got my core and my legs here. I've got some cruises in my core, and there's nothing on my legs. Awesome. But yeah, that's pretty cool that you can do that here. You can also do that from the weapons stores. They do also have that same option for you to pick your different parts of your armor, your backpack, etc., and the crates. All right, as you can see, I got 3 86 pistols and a bunch of S38s. So it did dump those back into my inventory. So if an item does not sell when you sell them en masse from a crate, it will put it back in your inventory. You can box it up and do what you will with it elsewhere. I don't have a need for these, so they can just stay here at Port Tresler, and I will forget about them. Hi friends, that's it for this video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on any of the videos I put out on gameplay tips or how-tos, etc. Also, don't forget to let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. Do you have other ways of selling that are useful that I can also share with the community here? Do you have struggles in selling from crates? I'm curious. I had someone comment on a video today saying all these issues that they're having. I don't have the same issues this person does. It kind of blows my mind how wildly different some of our experiences can be. Some people have an enormous amount of issues, while some people have, just a few here and there. So I find that very curious and interesting. So let me know if you have trouble doing this, and maybe we can find a workaround for you. Guys, I love you, and I'll catch you in my next episode. Take care and have a wonderful night. Bye.
Yeah. 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 Atlas in the bay, heavyweight every day. Workhorse of the verse, let me show you how we play. Atlas in the bay, heavyweight every day. Workhorse of the verse, let me show you. Atlas rolls in, let the offload begin. Orange steel beast with the claws on lock, hauling freight in the dark, running dock to dock. Iron Atlas, built for the grind, workhorse forever, one of a kind. From dock to deck, through stars we climb. Iron Atlas, always on time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Engines hum, hydraulic flex. Atlas don't quit, what you expect? Load by load, it clears the way. King of the cargo, day by day. Iron Atlas, built for the grind, workhorse forever, one of a kind. From dock to deck, through stars we climb. Iron Atlas, always on time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Lift it up, drop it quick, Atlas move, that freight don't stick. Iron Atlas, built for the grind, workhorse forever, one of a kind. Through storms, through fire, through endless time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Iron Atlas, always on time. Lift it up, drop it quick, Atlas move, the freight don't stick. Iron Atlas, Iron Atlas, Iron Atlas, we're always on time. Iron Atlas, built for the grind.